We all know that news channels and the internet is dominated by the headlines that Russia has launched a full-scale incursion of Ukraine, and this is probably the biggest geopolitical crisis after World War II. The USA and many European countries have imposed some serious sanctions on Russia. There is no doubt that any kind of conflict can come with dreadful humanitarian costs. Furthermore, the cost of oil barrels has reached up to $100 and stocks are fluctuating as well. But we hope that things will get better soon. Now, the important point here is that companies and many investors praised themselves for this view before the war even started. Many international investors are leaving Ukraine, and the price to protect against Ukrainian invasion has climbed. The Russian stock market has started getting down dramatically after the country's announcement of invasion. The worldwide private sector is closely connected with the conflict. Some of the companies will suffer a huge loss, and some companies might win in the future. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Glory Investing Show. In our today's video, I'm going to explain how the war crisis can turn into an investment opportunity for you. Stocks plunged after the president of the US imposed some strong sanctions on Russia, and therefore the market opened lower on February 24th. It closed on an increase. The stock market opened higher on the next day. This situation can give the perfect answer to how you can't be responsive to the news updates in investing. Let's suppose that on February 24th, you wake up and watch the news about war and suddenly make the decision of selling your stocks on the same day due to the war crisis. This means that you have actually lost the market. This is actually the human instinct, and all are seeing this play out in the market right now. If you remember, when the pandemic began, we all thought that the market would crash, but the market has more than doubled since the start of the lockdown situation, when we saw the market crash more than 30% in the first quarter of 2020. Well, history tells us the period of ambiguity, just like we're going right now, where we think that the stock market will suffer the most. According to the research, when there is a pre-war phase, an increase in the chances of war declines the prices of stocks, but the ultimate eruption of the war raises the prices of the stocks. However, in case of a surprise war, the eruption of the war reduces the prices of the stocks, and this phenomenon is called the war puzzle. A conflict with the country of Russia can fluctuate the oil market for a certain period due to the reason that Russia is the major supplier of crude oil and natural gas, with the pipeline feeding the major countries of Europe. Here, it is important to note that if Russia stops supplying the gas or has its oil infrastructure damaged, it might increase the price of oil, no doubt. Stoppages to the ports around the Black and Baltic seas can create a problem. But remember, despite all these worst cases, things get better even in the long run. So far, no one exactly knows the answer to this question: will the market crash due to war while staying at present? But if we see historically, we can find the answer that the market will grow instead of crashing. Let me tell you that for the last 6 American-involved wars, the stock market went up in the 10 years after the beginning of each war. Do you know that the worst war was World War II, when the market only went up double during the 10-year period? One of the greatest results was after the Gulf War, when the stock market went up to 500% from 1990 to 2000. Warren Buffett had cautioned against hoarding crash, gold, and cryptocurrency during the war crisis, and hyped back in the year 2014 when Russia tried to invade Ukraine for the first time, although that was less severe. His speech perfectly fits the situation. When he asked the question that people are fearful that this can be a World War III, and did this situation goes through his mind as well? You would also want to know that Warren had learned this valuable lesson when he bought the share for the first time during World War II when he was only 11 years old. Warren replied to the question that despite all of this happening, he will still continue to buy stocks no matter what, because he believes that investing money in the business is the best and the only way to build wealth over time. Let me tell you that Warren also said at the time that this war crisis could become a buying chance for long-term investors due to the reason that the prices of the stocks might go down, and he would not give the cash out if the conflict escalated to World War III. There is a reason behind investing instead of hoarding cash, because American businesses are worth more money and the worth of the cash will be less, so the money that you have hoarded will not buy you much in the future. You will get more benefit if you own more productive assets over the next 50 years instead of owning paper money.
Oil won't run out. It doesn't work that way. What oil will do at some point, the world will adjust to it, and hopefully we'll be thinking about it.
Here, it is important to note that after the Second World War, the world started its journey towards prosperity, and S&P 500 has jumped up to 127%, not including dividends reinvested, and many other businesses of the US are growing day after day. This is important to note that despite all the worst situations and war crisis, we should focus on investing money in productive assets instead of hoarding cash. Let me tell you that Warren Buffett was much convinced during the World War II, Cuban Missile Crisis, and during 9/11 that the USA will prevail, and it will do so again. Well, there is no doubt that civil war, the depression, the Arab oil embargo, and the COVID-19 affected many businesses, but that was for a specific period. Ultimately, the US came out of all the crises, therefore never bet against the United States, according to Warren Buffett.
In poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man.
You should change nothing while making your investment strategy and don't even think about pulling the money out of the businesses. You should stay the course, stick to your goals, and start buying and holding the index funds. I would highly suggest that you make a plan of at least 10 years, so don't try to time the market, and also do not sell any of the stocks until you retire, which means that you make a long-term plan. Here, it is important to note that the fluctuation in the stock market gives you a reminder to have some emergency cash in hand, even if the market is swinging up and down. The best thing you should do now is to keep your routine going and try to invest as much as possible.
You mark my words, will not only save Teldar paper, but that other malfunctioning corporation called the USA.
You should always focus on the underlying business and the current earnings of the companies you're going to invest in, how much they will see the growth in their upcoming earnings, and the present value of the stock. These are the important points you need to consider while making your investing strategy. Contrary to that, if you're still focusing on the news and macroeconomy, then you will end up worrying about yourself and you will not be able to buy any stocks. If you really want to invest your money and want to see it growing, then you have to make a long-term plan. Think from a different perspective. If the stock prices are going down due to a war crisis, then it's a great opportunity for you to buy more stocks, but make sure that you're investing in strong and productive assets that will surely do well in the future. Ask yourself a question. The Russian-Ukraine war will significantly influence the long-term earning power of the businesses you want to invest money in. Do you think that Apple, Microsoft, COCA-COLA, McDonald's, Disney will earn less money in the future? The simple answer that will come to your mind is a big no. Therefore, focus on the business instead of the current situation because you will never stay in the current time forever. So, what do you think about this? Let me know in the comment section below. Well, that will be all for today's video, and thank you for watching it. If this video was helpful for you, smash that like button and share it with your friends. I will see you in the next video. Take care and stay tuned.